this video, we're reviewing the Ringside exclusive AEW Unmatched Jeff Hardy Blacklight exclusive figure. Now, you can tell off rip that this figure is very cool because it does have a black light in the packaging. I am in the complete dark. We do have a black light illuminating the packaging here, and it is very awesome. I wanted to showcase this immediately because I think this is the coolest feature of the entire figure here. I want to get a zoom-in shot, and there you can see Jeff Hardy through the front viewing window with the black light going, and it is a beautiful setup for this figure. And you can't really tell in the dark, but there is a little bio fold here that makes it complete dark, and then you can reveal the figure underneath there, which I think is really awesome. But I'm going to cut the lights on now so you guys can see what it looks like. I just wanted to start the video with the black light exposed. And there is our Jeff Hardy figure with the lights on here, man. And here's the front window, as we know, or the front bifold. So it does have an image of Jeff Hardy on the front. You have Jeff Hardy's name going across in a really cool font right here. Spinning it to the side, you have AEW there, Jeff Hardy's name down the spine of the figure there, kind of like your bookcase style. On the back, Jeff Hardy's name again, and then you do get a nice shot of Jeff Hardy in AEW rocking this specific gear. And then on the final side here, we do have AEW, Jeff Hardy, and then it does have the little battery pack mechanism right here that does have an on and off switch that you can operate the black light, and then you reveal the figure inside with a nice screaming image of Jeff Hardy there. Man, this is really, really sweet. This is something, as soon as they revealed it, I thought it was amazing. I think this is such an incredible thing, and you know, AEW and Jazwares does a fantastic job on their packaging, just like Mattel does, besides the main line. We know about the main line packaging. Missed our video about that the other day. Go check that out. But this is a gear of Jeff Hardy I've always wanted in elite figure form, an action figure form, and I know we have had a basic figure of this before in a battle pack way back in the day with Matt Hardy, and that figure's not bad, but left a lot to be desired, right? I think this is going to be the better version of that. But taking a closer look at the figure here as he excretes a fart, you do have Jeff Hardy here with the rainbow sleeves looking all damn good, man. But I'm excited to crack this figure out of the packaging, find out what it's all about, and see how this Jeff Hardy fits into our collections and all of the different things, man. So with that being said, man, let's crack Jeff Hardy out of his packaging and see what this Blacklight exclusive Ringside Collectibles figure is all about. So here's our Blacklight exclusive Jeff Hardy out of the packaging, and I really wish I had a giant blacklight. I guess I can look around, and maybe at the end of the video we'll see what we can do there, but the one that comes in the packaging is not big enough or bright enough to kind of illuminate it here, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see, you know, what we can pull together there, but at the end of the day, this figure is looking pretty good, man. I'm excited for it. I think that we have a really nice exclusive here that checks off some boxes, but what we're going to do is dive into the accessories you get with the Jeff Hardy figure first, and then we will dive into the Blacklight Jeff Hardy action figure itself. So getting into the accessories you get with this Jeff Hardy, it's kind of funny because until I pulled the figure out of the packaging, I completely forgot when I was unboxing it that he came with a ladder. So there is a ladder that's stored behind him in the packaging, kind of sealed up in that little bubble deal. But I completely forgot that it was in there until I pulled the figure out and I was like, oh my god, I forgot he came with a ladder. So he does come with a ladder accessory. This is an accessory we've seen before, I do believe. I don't think it's a new mold, but at the same time you have these like wooden striations going down the side. And I want to say the last time we got one was kind of a metal ladder. It came in that big accessory pack, I think, that was gold and black. So maybe this is a new sculpt, but it looks pretty good. You know, it's very undersized. I mean, in terms of ladders, I mean, it looks like a short step ladder because he's just as tall as this ladder, I mean, for the most part. But you do get some articulation here in the bins right there. It doesn't break away or anything, but you do get the hinges there, and it's a solid piece. You could use it for a display or a backstage area or a ladder. Yeah, I mean, it's a ladder. It's a ladder. It's Jeff Hardy. It makes sense, and I think this is a fine bonus accessory to throw in. And I do like the steel step or the steel little texturing that goes on the top of it right here. I think that's pretty cool, but there's no peg or anything to plug anything in, which is kind of but yeah, I just don't think the scale's the best with the ladder, but it is a cool feature. But then we do have the two interchangeable head sculpts, and I really do enjoy this one, the straight face or the stoic face, which I think does work well. Now, I will say it's not the face paint that he's wearing on the box. It is a little bit different here. Doesn't have like the little pointed lips, and the face paint is a bit different, and I low-key wish that it was the paint on the packaging because I think it looks better, and it's not the same. It's not the exact same here, so I don't know what's going on there or what happened, but you do have the white gauges and the paint and everything going through. I like the fade on the sides. Nice attention to detail. It's a good head sculpt, and then you have the signature screaming head sculpt, which I think also looks very good. So both of these look really good. One thing about it is, you know, he always paints eyes on his eyelids, and so when he opens his eyes, it kind of gives you that double eye look a little bit. It can kind of get tricky there, but at the same time, it's not a bad, big deal or anything, but I think if it were completely black back there, it would probably read a little bit better as far as the eyes go, but I do like the screaming expression, and I like the straight face. I think both of these are really good, and they handle well. I think these are nice. I mean, I don't really know what you could dislike about this. I like both head sculpts. And then he does come with a pair of the mic holding or weapon wielding style hands in the rainbow gear or sleeves coming down, which is pretty cool. And you know it's Jeff Hardy, so you are going to have the signature Hardy hands, which are a bit weird. Like the AEW interchangeable hands are always a little weird because they are not a, you know, it's not like they're like a complete copy of what the person's hand looked like when they scanned it, is what it looks like to me. Because, you know, with Mattel, it's like a pre-posed signature hand. I guess I can get into it right here. I have a Mattel off screen right here, and you can see that, you know, I mean, first of all, the hands, the figure is bigger, but the hands are smaller with the Jazwares figure. But you see here, it's a lot more like dominant and a lot more straight and not as relaxed or like realistic looking, but at the same time, I don't know, it's weird. You know what I'm talking about. If you have these hands, you know exactly what I'm talking about there, but there is a Jeff Hardy hand from Mattel versus the Jazwares. So starting out at the top of the Jeff Hardy figure, man, seeing the head sculpt sit on there, I think it does sit pretty well, you know, I don't think it's like too high or anything, and if we want to switch this out and put on the screaming expression so you can see how it sits on the figure body, I think both of these look pretty good on the body, you know what I mean? I don't think they, you know, muddy anything up or change anything. I think they look pretty good for the most part. So that is pretty good. You know, you don't want the head sculpt to sit too high or too low or really, you know, give you a giraffe neck or no neck. You know, I think it's imperative that you get that right scaling and fit for the head sculpt and everything like that. But going down, he does have his neck tattoos in there, which is pretty good. You can't really see him because of the head sculpt. But going down, we do have the same signature Jeff Hardy torso we've come to know from Jazwares. And then you do have these cotton candy rainbow style sleeves that are kind of ombre, right? So they go from the yellow into the blue into the pink, and then they fade back and forth. And I'm trying to turn the exposure down on the camera so you guys can really see it. It's playing tricks on the camera eye because you have these really bright sleeves and colorful saturated sleeves versus this black, and then you throw in the white face paint, and it really just, I don't know, it kind of operates weird there, but hopefully it's all smooth for you. But double jointed arms look good. I love the ombre look. I think that's nice. And one thing I'm noticing is it's white underneath, so you do get some of that leaking through if you articulate the arm, which isn't the biggest deal, but I do like everything going on here. Nice rainbow studded belt here with all the colors going around, which I think is sweet. And I feel like Jeff Hardy's like the only guy that could pull this gear off. You know what I mean? I think that it's just it's a really aesthetic gear that fits Jeff Hardy perfectly. And that's why I think this is just the perfect attire for an exclusive like this. But going down, you do just have the regular black Jeff Hardy pants that are really thick. Then we do have the towel in the back that is tied up, which is a really nice accessory, or a nice detail piece, which I think is cool. And then he does have his signature white and black boots, which is nice because he doesn't wear kick pads. You know, Mattel always gives him kick pads. He's not wearing kick pads, man. I don't know why they do that. But getting into the articulation, man, he can look down a little bit there. He can't really look up, even though he has the ball hinge because of his long hair, so that is going to hinder it a little bit there. Arms go above 90 here, full rotation, bicep swivel. You do get a double jointed arm here. And one thing I've noticed, because this is like screen printed over the double jointed arms, these sleeves have that screen printed technology over it. I feel like the arms get a little bit stuck, at least for me. They're not like as smooth as they usually are, and I think that's just because that paint's in there. So it may chip off a little bit. You may get a little bit of stuckage there, but it's not the biggest deal of all time. But you do get wrist hinge and swivel here, which is very nice. You get diaphragm moving and pivoting here. And, you know, the ab crunch is actually pretty decent there. It doesn't pop off, so that's actually a damn good... That's a lot better ab crunch, I feel like. Like, I don't know, like, I know it pops off there, but you can actually push this pretty good right there compared to other Jazwares figures, or not necessarily Jazwares figures, but Jeff Hardy figures, I feel like. But not a bad ab crunch I've seen. He can kick up straight forward into 90, but the thing is with this thick leg and mold and crotch and everything, the figure's leg does go slightly up to the side instead of straight forward, which can be annoying, but he can go out to the side there and all that. You get this free range motion, which we love to see on the ball joint. Upper thigh cut there. Double jointed knee, which gets a bit tricky. He goes a little bit above 90 because of the thickness of the plastic and the legs there. But he does have shin cut, which is appreciated. And then he does have a nice ankle rocker. And the feet go up and down, which I do enjoy. So this is hella nice, man. Really enjoying this Jeff Hardy. I think that it is a lot of fun. You know, his figures pose around well. But I do want to get into some figure comparisons and, you know, break all of those down. But you guys know that the biggest thing with the Jazwares Jeff Hardy figures is just the scaling, right? It's the scaling that really holds these guys back. So here's a comparison between all of our Jazwares Jeff Hardys. The only one I'm missing is the Amazon exclusive 2-pack Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. I really want that set. I've just never pulled the trigger for whatever reason. Definitely on my checklist of to do. just haven't done it. So that is one I definitely have to get because I think it looks really, really cool. And I think it would fit in nicely with these Jeff Hardys. And I feel like, you know, if you go down the, oh man, this is kind of this may be a controversial topic to get into, man. But I know I've talked about the lore of the Jeff Hardy figures from Mattel. And Jazwares are fantastic. These are fantastic Jeff Hardys. But the scale, I feel like the scaling's off and just, it's not perfect in those certain aspects. Is it fair to say that we've never had just the greatest Jeff Hardy action figure of all time between both companies? Have we ever seen one that just completely nails it across the board in the modern day? Like, I know you have your entrance crates, which was great, like the Elite 1 redo. We've had some really cool ones like the 2-pack Elite Jeff Hardy. The Epic Moments was good. There's a lot of really good ones, but I'm talking about in modern, double-jointed arms, nailing the likeness, nailing the attire, nailing everything from top to bottom like we've seen with some other characters. Fair to say that we've never seen that across the board? I don't know, man. Pretty interesting topic to debate right there. But it is cool to see these, but left to right, you do have your Unmatched series. I think it's Unmatched 9 Jeff Hardy, Unrivaled 16 Jeff Hardy, Blacklight exclusive, and then the Ring of Honor Jazwares Vault exclusive 2-pack here. And then we do have an Amazon 2-pack Jeff Hardy as well. But it does seem that his figures for AEW will be done. This should be the last Jeff Hardy, I do believe, but I guess anything's possible. I certainly would like to see him get back under the WWE umbrella and get some WWE Elites and Ultimates, but that does it for your Jazwares figure comparisons. And then we have some Mattel figure comparisons here, and the reason I chose all these different WWE Elite Jeff Hardys is just because all the colors, like look how colorful it is, and this just makes Jeff Hardy, I mean, this is why he is one of the most toyetic characters of all time, and just so iconic is his colors and the brightness and just the colorful nature of the character. So you do have a bunch of different, you know, customs and fix-ups and just different stuff for my collection that, you know, ties into this rainbow Jeff Hardy that kind of echoes and emphasizes that rainbow and colorful there. But you can see the scaling. This figure is going to be oversized compared to your Mattel figures, but people doing leg swaps does lower the height down, and it turns into a pretty sweet figure if you are able to do so. And I know people have done it before, I just don't know the specific legs that people are using. I know it's not Jeff Hardy legs because he's not on ball joints, so maybe it's some Rock legs, or I don't know what people are doing out there. I know there's a way though. Nonetheless, that does it for your Jeff Hardy figure comparison. But at the end of the day, man, I think this makes for a really fun ringside exclusive. You guys know ringside exclusives are usually something that's, you know, it's maybe a repaint. I know we get, like, you know, it's kind of off the beaten path. It's something that's not necessarily mainline, but it's really sought after, or it's not something that everybody wants. It's kind of that fine line. It's funny because exclusives are usually something that a lot of people want, while at the same time being something that not everybody wants. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing with exclusives. It really is, because, you know, it's a repaint, or it's a specific gear, or a specific moment, or a specific thing that makes it an exclusive. Take your Cody Rhodes and Pharaoh 2-pack. Not everybody wants Pharaoh in their collection, but a lot of people are like, damn, that's really cool. I want that in my collection. Kind of like this Jeff Hardy here. Really cool Jeff Hardy. It's got the blacklight feature. It's like, oh damn, that's really cool. But not everybody's gonna be like, yeah, that's really cool, but I don't need it. It's a weird thing there with exclusives and how that works. Same thing with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives for the most part. Like the Muhammad Ali. Everybody's like, I don't need Muhammad Ali. But then there's some people that are like, damn, Muhammad Ali, that's awesome. So that's kind of what's weird about the exclusives here. But as far as this Jeff Hardy, I think it makes for a good exclusive for that reason. I think it's a cool novelty. The blacklight in the packaging is really innovative. I think it's genius. As a big Jeff Hardy guy, I think it's incredible. Reminds me of some of the glow-in-the-dark figures of the past and things like that, but this is a gear we've always wanted. I think that the Jeff Hardys from Jazwares are really good and really mid at the same time, because I think the scaling is what always takes these figures out, man. The scaling of these figures is always what kind of does it for me, while at the same time, they're very fun to pose around, they're fun to shoot, they're great Jeff Hardy figures in general. Like if you just stand alone Jeff Hardy action figure, amazing, fun to pose, a lot of different deals going on, but again, at that same time, I think the scaling's off, and, you know, people may want to skip it for that reason. So I don't know, man, it's going to be up to you on that note. I know some people are able to adjust the formula and change the legs out and make him, you know, in scale with Mattel figures. I don't know the exact formula. Maybe somebody can let me know down below. I've never really tried my hand at it. Maybe we can try it on surgery, see if it works and makes this figure operational in a Fed or display or something like that in terms of scaling wise or something like that. But at the end of the day, I really enjoy the figure. I think it's fun. And, you know, it's not for everybody, but I think it's really badass and I think it's cool. So if you guys want this Jeff Hardy figure, it is blacklight Ringside exclusive, and you can do so by going over to Ringside Collectibles using code MDTOYS and saving yourselves 10% over there if you guys would like this figure. So if you guys want that, go over there, check that out. I think it's a fun figure, and again, while not for everybody, still sick as hell. Just a really, really cool and fun idea, and I think it's awesome, man. But at the end of the day, you're kind of just dealing with a repaint. And if you don't really care for the gear, then I guess it is skippable. But the blacklight deal and everything is going to be really fun for mock collectors and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm getting the hell out of here, man. A lot of fun to shoot, and I had fun with it, man. But thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below, of course. But a huge shout out to our Patreon members as well, man. Thank you guys so much for your support as always. You guys are truly goated, and I appreciate you so much. But I'm getting the hell out. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.